questions for Tas, and want to know a lot about what's been going on since. So, but I'm just going to start with a question for Eddie. And you've known Tas for a long time, since you were kids, right?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, one of the things that I was interested to know is when you went to America to start shooting this film and to start interviewing all the people that were there at the time, like, what did it feel like kind of seeing Tas through their eyes?
Well, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But were you shocked? I mean, like, was it the image of him that you had?
I wasn't shocked. I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, the first step of the process was going to see Tas in prison and talk about the project and if we can make it happen. And so, obviously, Tas is a very honest guy. He's been through a lot. So, I'd just like to thank Tas for being so brave for sharing his story. So I wasn't shocked, but I was interested to hear their different opinions and the respect that they had for Tas.
Great, great. And I guess, Tas, for you, I think probably a lot of people will be interested in kind of what is your kind of current relationship? Your kind of What's your relationship with skateboarding now? Like, what's happening with you and skateboarding? You've been working hard, right?
Falling back in love with it.
Great.
Just skating my ass off.
And you
trying to make up for lost time.
You pulled a 900 recently, right?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, right. And what are you working on now?
I'm going to keep that dark.
Huh?
Possible. No. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, great. I think let's get this out to the audience pretty quickly. So, there's a mic over there. Who's got any questions? Let's go here.
Do you still hate the Birdman?
Hate him? Nah, I mean, I find the whole thing quite comical, really. Like, yeah, he's like, there was a couple of demos that he tried to. One he kept me out of. One he made me leave the ramp when he was there in Melbourne after I got out. So I was just like, wow. You know, you made all that money and you still can't. What's going on, mate? Yeah, so it's alright. I mean, to each his own. It's a bit better. No.
Okay, what we got? No one straight here?
You still sing in a band?
Yeah, yeah! Nah, I don't, no.
Yeah, that's his band.
How many girls have you shagged?
Since?
No, I've had 5 relationships and that was it.
What do you? I mean, it's interesting. Like, so the amount of archive in this film from around the era. What do you think it is about skateboarders that kind of make them film everything? You know, there were moments in there that I don't think you would, if you were telling other stories, you'd never have the access to that archive. And what is it that kind of is part of that psyche where it just seemed like everything from the most debauched to the horrible to the exciting was filmed?
Oh, that's your...
Well, I mean, it's just about copying the American skate videos, really, and then what happens for young skaters, it's like building a show reel. So it's like your CV, so people always had video cameras in the scene, and because it's quite a wild scene, you know, so that was part of the attraction to kind of knowing that this project could potentially have a lot of colour and a lot of Tas's youth would be captured, and we could,
Yeah, great. And Chris, what was it like wading through all that? Like?
Well, I got neck ache from watching rushes that were literally days and days and days of stuff on ramps, because obviously for every trick that makes it into the final cut, there are 300 or 400 attempts that don't. So, I mean, Eddie and I literally spent days sitting in the cut going that, and we were looking for the moments, really, moments that the skaters weren't interested in, moments where there were little conversations on ramps between our main players, but hunting for those took a long time. And I don't know exactly how many hours of stuff. It was a few hundred hours of stuff. And it took roughly 7 months for us to kind of whittle that into the shape of the narrative. And of course, you're taking stuff that was really shot for one thing, which is to highlight that one moment, that trick, and you're trying to turn it into a narrative with all the kind of different types of scenes and different pacing that you need to actually tell a story. So it did take quite a lot of wrangling, but at least we had a very clear idea about the story we wanted to tell. We knew that it was a story that wasn't, although it was in skateboarding and highly specifically about skateboarders, it was also a story that could have happened in a lot of other worlds, a story about innocence and all those kind of universal themes. So we were keen to kind of expand it and make it appeal to skaters and non-skaters as well.
Any more questions out there?
When did you start filming, and when did you stop, and how long did you do? How long was post?
Filmed for about 3 years and 7 months edit.
Big at the back.
First of all, thank you for sharing everything, as you said before, because obviously it was a hell of a journey. Looking back on the film, you've obviously seen it a few times now. Is there anything else, anything you change? Is there anything you feel was either glorified too much, or anything that wasn't brought to the fore enough?
I mean, of course, you're telling the story. I don't want like my kids or anyone's kids or anyone to fry himself on drugs, you know. The reason you do drugs is they are fun, right? So no matter what, if you're going to tell a story about living that lifestyle, it's going to look glorified. So I don't think there was any way out of that. I mean, we did have a blast, but it just led to my family's demise, and I actually feel like, I mean, God bless me with being able to skate even better now at the end, because I'm doing tricks I never did and just trying my best to, you know, live a clean life. But yeah, the answer to your question is, I don't think there's any way you can't show that type of lifestyle without it looking glorified, you know what I mean? But I don't agree with it anymore.
So yeah, a lot of it was pretty fun, yeah.
Until I came down.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about your cliche collaboration and how you came up with the graphic idea? Does it tell a story?
When I was still locked up and Eddie was coming to see me, Al Bubbly and Steve Douglas from Cliche and Globe just got in touch and they said, I want to do a guest board, and I just said, well, I've got an idea, you know. I told him the idea, and then Mark McKenzie, who did all the World Industries boards back in the 90s, they told him and they drew up the board. So, yeah.
Speaking of boards,
Have you got a board?
have you got a board?
Yeah, there's one over there.
What do you want to do with it?
Give it me!
Design.
Give me!
But no, what are we going to do? Who wants it?
Oh, he's got one.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my wall, sign it for me. Tas,
Yeah.
sign it, I'll put it on the wall of our skateboard shop in Sheffield.
There you go. That's a winner.
Give it
That's a
away.
winner. Alright.
Cheers.
So, I've just been told that 10,000 bottles of Grolsch have arrived at the party that we're doing after this. That's at 10 o'clock at the Plug, which is that way somewhere. So, it'd be great if you could all come along. Alright, thank you very much.
And I'd like to thank Chris, George and Eddie, like, amazing. Thank you guys. And thank you God for the second chance. And thanks for coming.